Hello and welcome to my video of how I made the Christmas illustration that I sent a few friends. Background music is called A Walk into Space by Topher Moore and Alex Knights. I do love that song, that's all I can say. What I will say. So hopefully the light is not too bad, because I'm using a selfie stick too, because it's more comfortable for me. So the whole inspiration, and hopefully I will have a clip before this, so I'm gonna pause and insert a clip. I was watching a John Cookian video and he said something about umbrella. Like, I just remember that keyword umbrella, and so this became it. I think that I'm not sure if this is the first or the second sketch compared to my pen sketch, which we will see right about now. So here we have Sibyl, my character, and some details that I wanted to point out, such as the lights swirling around. Wait, I'm gonna take a chopstick. So the light swirling around her wing, the light shape, how I wanted her hat to look. Basically I wanted to have snowflakes on the pom-pom, but yeah, it didn't work out. Lipstick. And usually when I illustrate Sibyl, she's like very fancy and silly and very fashion forward. So this part of her hat, which is usually the white, the fluff part, I decided it would be clouds or something reminiscent of clouds with snowy evergreens. See my note here, top of hat, maybe add snowflakes and small trees. Well, that's basically it. Then we have the details of how I wanted her mitts, which are a bit more complex detail, which I didn't do. And obviously I messed up, because that would be her other hand. Like, I never get this thing right anyway. So moving on. To Mitchie. Mitchie is my best friend's character, but I adopted him officially, so he's technically mine. And this was how it started also. In the beginning I wanted Mitch to be in a Santa sleigh flown by a pigeon, but that was a bit complicated for my skills. So here's how it became. Mitchie, obviously he's being a naughty boy, because all this stuff is for Santa. But Mitchie doesn't much care about that. Bah, humbug. This little elf was also projected to be in a card. He's spying on Mitchie, who is not being so nice, but details. These were ideas of the cookie, because I felt bad. If I do a snowman, I would feel so bad having like a munch out of him, or the typical gingerbread man, or the star. So I wanted something more classic that I wouldn't feel bad having traces of munch out. And again, I'm usually detailing my stuff pretty good, so frost, I don't know what that was, and mint candies. I didn't go for the candies, I think I just went for the white frosting. Here we have, this would have been the original Mitchie sketch, but then his hat got something better. Mitchie's epic annoyed face. So originally he was very annoyed and looking at the cookie itself and not in the direction of Sibyl, or, well, as you can see here, he looks more towards the right hand, and here he's more downwards to the cookie. Another character that didn't make the cut was this little puffy angel drinking the hot chocolate. And this is my overtime. because I jot down the stuff that I do on my sketches. This was an alternate faithful Sibyl. So welcome to the PC chapter of my illustration where all the magic really began. So let's start. Now, I will talk about this later. I did this for a previous project in 2013-14. I did use elements from previous illustrations. So then, first we're gonna open the blueprint because that's how it starts. Well, we can take a little sneak peek at the finals just to have fun and see and admire. Oh, this was like a very last minute spin-off. Let's just say it like that. I'm kind of happy with it. And obviously, since I'm using all these freaking resources, my PC is lagging and slow and pixely. Yay, yay, yay. So here's the final result. The only thing that is not mine is this Santa with the reindeer sleigh thingy. This illustration, oops. Of course, now it's stuck. Okay, so the clouds come from a fan art I did for my K-pop idol Jonghyun, and here we have the trademark umbrella, Mitch being a naughty little boy, and Sibyl being her usual self. And the greetings in English because I have a new version where it's in Korean, I think. I wanted to do my usual round, which is English, French, Korean, Bulgarian, Japanese, Chinese, but there was running out of time, so I stuck with my two basic essential ones in my life, basically. So Korean, and I will close this for a second and get to good stuff. So the way that I work is with the paths, aka I have my blueprint in 2015. So see this file here, 150 to 58. If I open it, I can show you more precisely how I work. So this is my basic sketch, and I always reduce it and have a white, just like a white layer underneath, so I can work better on my path lines. In Photoshop, I can create paths, and with the pen tool, I draw the shapes. So here, oops, not what I wanted to do, but I'm holding my phone with one hand, so I only have one hand free at the moment. So basically, this will be the heart and the bow, and the umbrella, and CB's eyes or expression. This was her alternative smile versus the kissy face thingy. So basically how it happens, and I'm gonna do this for just an example for the pom-pom here. I will create a new path. I'll use my pen tool and I will drag the shape, and then I will edit it until perfection or satisfaction, whichever applies first. I like my shapes round and proud and just harmonious and jolly and fluid. Like see here, here it's round and come sort of floppy-ish. I don't like that, so I'm gonna edit until I'm more or less satisfied. Like this is not so bad. When I have this, And for all the essential elements, I'm gonna copy and open a new file, and again have a bunch of paths, have a new path, open, and then I can resize this to basically how big or small I want. I can also, if I had my two fingers, I could control V to paste it, like drag and copy it, or duplicate. But here I'm gonna C and V. Did it do it? Or do I need the other one? Transform. Can I duplicate one? Yeah, let's do that. Just for the purpose of the explanation. And here, and now I'm gonna rotate. Oh, this could be interesting. But I want it here like a, and then you get the angle, so I get create the whole shape, or I can trace the individual thing following my sketch as I did it. I'm gonna delete this and delete because they're unnecessary. So here we have Sibyl and her body and her wings. My cloud base, each little thing is its own individual stroke path. I followed my original sketch because I was pretty satisfied with it. Here we have the hat, and this was, I guess, the most challenging and demanding, because all of those folds to make them fluid. My evergreen, this is part of the mistletoe and the leaf. Here we have her hands, the star which is above her umbrella, then the umbrella, and I always struggle with the friggin' candy cane shape, which is not even funny since I've been doing this for so long. This is usually how I get through it. So have the and I use, I think it's you. Yeah, so the shape here, and I use this round rectangle with a radius of 20 or 30, and it just elongate. Then I have another one, and again with the path too, I would see like this. Well, this is very gross, but you get the idea, and I will refine this into making a decent candy cane shape for the umbrella. Alternate face, which I didn't do, the bow, the cords around her wings. Here's my famous thingy and the light bulb. Random swirls for the cloud. I don't know what this is for. Okay, no. And so when everything is done, I'm gonna just, I don't need this thing. Okay. So when everything is complete, I make the blueprint, and for the blueprint I try to have everything, oh, and yes, of course, my color guide, aka the colors that I will use, the lighter and the darker shade for each main thing. So how to make the blueprint and do them on different layers so I can erase things which collide against each other. And I'm going to make a new layer here just to show you the example. So I'm gonna erase or hide them temporarily, and I'm gonna select, I swear with one hand it's so hard, this color, then brush, and I'll go a bit something lighter like a 10. Pressure, very important for me. So then I'm gonna reactivate my pen tool, PPP, and here stroke, where's stroke path, simulate pressure, and I get this. And now I'm gonna go back to brush. I'm gonna go down to 2 size, and I'm gonna pen, stroke path, not simulate pressure, so it's gonna be one solid line. And now I'm gonna unselect this, and with the eraser tool, you see like her wing shouldn't be in her face, so I'm gonna erase that. Of course, when you have a tablet and a pen, I have a Wacom bamboo fun thingy, it's much more easier and more fluid. It feels more fluid in your hand to work with the pen than a mouse. But for most part, my pen didn't work because I didn't update the driver, so I had to do this manually with the mouse, which was hours and hours of fun, like you have no freaking idea. So now that we have the basic concept for this, I'm gonna delete this, and now we have the blueprint of how I want my Sibyl to look, except I had to reverse her hand because apparently this should be her left hand, and anyway, I'm not perfect. And now for the wings, colored, here we go. So at first I always have the same principle that we have seen 2 seconds ago with the blueprint. I just use my darker shade of pink, and I have the same, first the bigger brush and then the smaller brush, pressure and no pressure. Then I fill that shape with the lighter shade from dark to light, and then I'm adding in all the glorious textures, and for that I'm going to use into brush, and I have presets. So what I've been using mostly is Alina's watercolor variant, but for here it automatically goes down to this color, so I'm gonna select the color that I want, which is this pink, and this gives this magnificent watercolor thingy. And if you wonder what the brush preset is, it's basically in Photoshop you have your brush shape, or I don't know if you can, so here it's basically shape, and then she has like dynamics with applied texture. Dual brushes, when she combines that with another brush to create extra variants, you get me, like something different in the way the brush behaves when you use it. The wet edges creates that whole watercolor angle, but in a more beautiful way. And so I'm just gonna erase all this mess, because I only did this to like show you how I work. And then another one that I've been using a lot was, so this was Alina's watercolor. I also love the Groot. I just downloaded from their website. Foam runner is pretty neat. Bubbles, been using this a lot, you can see. Ocean liner, I don't think I used this one. And obviously Kyle Ultimate, I used a whole lot of those ones. So I've been trying to stick mostly to Groot, as this was like a whole discard. Oh, this one, yes, Sheen Duster, that's the same pattern you see here. See? So this is how I apply my textures. And I'm so bad at finding my stickers, I'm so used to the shortcuts. Just gonna erase everything here because I don't need it. And so this was her wings. Of course I can't use my thingy. And then I added more detail for the light. And then same principle for Sibyl's body. As you can see, we have the line, we have the fill, and we have the watercolor and what was it? BBB? Groot, where are you? Hi, my name is Groot. The sheen duster. I freaking love the sheen duster. It does amazing stuff if you're a painter on Photoshop. So here's my little Sibyl taking shape. Lights around her wings, cheeks. Here we have her Santa hat. And just for the record, so it's always the same principle. So we have the fill and the line at the extreme opposites in the folder. And always make folders because it's easier to find yourself and move things around when you need to. So first basic texture for the shadows, then a bit of the watercolor texture, then a bit more darkness, a bit more flatness, a bit more light, extra enhancement of light that give the punch. Then we have the cloud is the same thing, the evergreens, and here I used a mask, disable. So first I paint the things and then I will enable, make either this or the cloud reduce in percentage so I can erase without erasing the evergreen. If I need it somewhere else, I have like a full copy of them. Let's see, because I wanted this branch to stick out but this one behind. Here the branch goes behind the cloud but this goes on top of the cloud. Pom pom. Yeah, it's taking shape. The candy umbrella was fun to make, and I finally got like a half decent shape, though it's not as round and curvy as I wish it could be, but it's decent. Let's just say that. Oh, sorry. The famous umbrella. Here I just had like massive fun with the brush textures. Not even kidding you. Snowballs. Again, just gray, blue and white, the same principle, the line, the fill and the textures, and having fun with it. I mean, that was the whole process. Have fun with your creation. Oops, Bill's face. I'm sorry about that, honey. Here we go. I think it was just like a bit like that. And see, by having your things in groups, you can easily move things around. If I only want to move her lips, bingo. And I love doing the eyes. Since she's okay, so Sibyl's backstory is she was created by God in heaven. She was baked in a pie, which explains her dual color eyes, and just because I think it looks pretty on her, and it's one of my 2 favorite colors. Mistletoe, remember those lines? Well, here you are. The bow is actually a copy from the bow that I did on the umbrella because I was too lazy to draw another one. It's called Recycling. Hands. Again, the same, the line, the fill and the texture. This was the star trail. in the beginning I had a very clear idea of having gradient colors make this, but when I bought these brushes, I was like, no way, I have to do something way more funky. Here we have the star and the bow, and voila. So at first in the bow, so we have the shape, and then we have something that's called a pattern, which is window swatches, no, styles. Right, except this was downloaded, so it was applied. It's this one, right? See, pattern overlay, and it downloaded from DeviantArt. And on top of this, and because everything is like where you see the FX, it's all the base colors, and on top of that, we have all the FX. So basically, look at this one more specifically. We have the basic fill, which would be with the color red, like that. Then we apply the pattern. Then we have a bit of inner shadow to give it a bit of I don't know if you can see, it's a bit darker here, just to give it like a notch of depth and texture. Here we have the line. Here we have the bit of more texture, and the same is repeated throughout all the other ones. And so this was how I did Sibyl. Mitch is basically the same process. Now I'm not gonna save because I don't want to ruin my stuff. So blueprint, this was Mitchy, this was Sibyl. Mitchy, merged elements, Mitchy. So here, you mean I didn't? So I guess this was only the illustration with my essential parts. Mitchy was a bit easier to do, but holy moly, the hot chocolate was, oof. Well, especially painting it. I think painting was both ridiculously entertaining and a new challenge for me. Mitchy blueprint. So see again my basic colors that I transported from Sibyl's thingy. So here we have all your, as you can see, my original hat was a bit smaller, so I enlarged the original. Here's, and again, what I like about paths is that you can always, it's almost like vector, which usually happens in Illustrator, but I absolutely hate Illustrator like to no freaking end. So I do the same work as someone would do in Illustrator but in Photoshop, and then I take it to the Emmy level with the brushwork, because that's who I am. And oh my god, figuring out his pinky and this part of the hand was so freaking hard, like oh my god. And yes, from the path the cake looks pretty weird, let's just say it like that. The hat was the bigger one, and this was technically the munch part, which is now here and a bit rotated. So then, and I always end up with stuff that I'm not using, but it's the same principle. Poof, Mitch disappeared. The body, the shade, okay, he came out a bit darker because I think I abused the brush a bit, so I had to like lighten him up much. Again, too dark. I think I even added like an extra light in the final version. But yeah, same principle as Sibyl. And then blueprint, merge the elements. I think this is the one. Or didn't just open the The great thing about me is that I never know which file is which file, but I'm assuming that by the size this has to be the big one, because it's like 3000 pixels it's big, let's just say like that. Which is good because I can print on good card, like on a letter format, and have a good quality at it, which is essential because this was meant to be printed. Though I still use the same size for everything else, even goes on the web. So here's the final illustration with Sibyl and Mitch. Well, Mitch had a bit of enhancement because I found his hat boring without the lights. I'm like, yeah, it's so nice. So wait, I'm gonna create a new folder and drag this in. And usually what I don't use, I put them at the bottom, so everything else is used. Okay, so my basic background. Then these are stock images that I overlap to create something interesting, which I don't know if you can even notice the existence of, because I put in front of that layers of snow, glorious snow, painted. My clouds are from an illustration I did for Kim Jong-hyun's Blue Night show, which I can show because it's on my hard drive and my hard drive is not connected. But basically, I did this last year or 2 years ago. I don't remember when he started. I think it's 3. Whenever Jong-hyun started his show, that's when I did this artwork for him. The Santa sleigh is the one thing that is not mine, that I took a clip art from the web. The moon is mine. That was painted for, again, that other fan art. Oh, come on. Don't tell me that you're frozen. Yes, you did. We are sorry for this small interruption. The file was big, Photoshop freaked, and I had a small meltdown. So here we have the first layer of moon, then we said snow, which is in the background, and as you can notice, the texture is because it's in mode dissolved. If I had it in normal, it would look like regular snowflakes, but in dissolve, it creates this amazing little patchiness. Dissolve. Okay. So here we have the magic snowstormy night. Then more snow, and more snow to create the magic. This was my greeting because I wanted to link Mitch and Sibyl and the greeting. So Mitch, Sib, the greeting and the greeting. Sibyl. So the things that I added to her was a bit of glow around her lights, and I painted her shadow in the snow so she wouldn't look just like stuck up like sploosh there. Though I need to work on my shadow skills, but it's basically that. And then we have Michi. Again, his shadow is a bit more realistic compared to him. The magnificent, decadent triple hot chocolate that I did for Santa, that Michi is shamelessly having a taste of in the cookie, because humbug, he doesn't care at this point and he's hungry. The snowflakes are also clip art that I didn't do, but all the rest is basically me painting. And yeah, this looks a bit weird, like 2D-ish when it's supposed to be 3D-ish, but I'm not perfect. And again, here we have the lights and the glow around, which was so fun to do. I loved it. Oops. Keeping a tab on his sister. And being remotely annoyed because, he's just your average taxman. He will tax the shit out of you. Little CB, will be cooking and trying to make you fat as possible. Because round and proud, baby. And the frame, that's the file that we have seen in the beginning. I wanted to paint a silver evergreen for last year or 2 years ago Christmas card. It didn't work out, so I'm salvaging it into the frame because otherwise it would feel just a notch boring and empty. Again, more snow. This snow falls on top of Mitch and Sib, but I wanted to have a bit more snow. Notice the difference? Also gives a bit of light to the whole picture. More magic. And again, more snow, but this snow is probably erased from the final print because I remember cleaning Michi and Sibi's face not to have snow in front of them, so I can have the focus clear. The Merry Christmas was a file that I created for my first year at my current job 3 years ago for Christmas. The big snowflakes were also a thing that I created back then. And I will eventually show you Christmas cards that I did in the past. And a Happy New Year. And here, I don't know if you will notice it, but I wanted to include the forever lasting loopy thingy with the A and the end. Illuminati confirmed. This was basically my card. And now we can explore my bag. I'm sorry. No, I don't want to. So we can explore the finals. Because they're all beautiful and I love them. Oh, and if you noticed, Sibyl, me, Mitchie, Russell, based on Deputy Russell, I don't know what's his name in The Crazies. I just had like a massive crush on Joe Anderson, and I had to do a puffy in his honor, so that's my little Russ. And that won't be complicated. If I can find the original file so I can show you. Family, yes. Extra large. And I designed minus the pig. I didn't design the pig, that was a download. But this was like a Neo Mitch. This is my empty recycle bin, full recycle bin. I also did these leaf thingies as an illustration for Christmas like 5 or 6 years ago. So this would be me, this would be Michi. Pody is technically the devil, but he's not much around these times. Here's my little Russell, happy little angel. Sibyl. Tichi is Mitch's twin brother. And Zephy is, well, obviously you know what the ring represents. He's usually horny and trying to score, but he's not succeeding too much. So back to the illustrations. As I was saying, at original it started silver, but then my best friend suggested that blue would look better, so I ended up with the blue frame. This was a sort of a last minute improvised. Oh, please finish loading for the love of Christ, thank you. Because I love the elements on their own, and I thought it would be a nice thing to just have, the elements, the art themselves without the characters. And here we have And I'm pretty sure I'm missing a letter here, or it's the font, because this is like a T and an L. I don't know. I'm the queen of making mistakes and not realizing them in time. So here we have a little zoom on the, oh, this was so, I just freaking love doing the mug, I have to say, like it was, and this is supposed to be made of cookie, and well, the two labels are made out of cookie with your other gingerbread cookie and hot chocolate. And here you can appreciate that glorious watercolor style paper shadowy thingy. And again, the same principle of the mask that I spoke earlier was used to have the candy cane loop around the end and the A and like intertwine with them. Focus on the hat. I'm super happy and super proud of my hat. Actually, like, I've done pretty freaking good. And so yeah, I think I might salvage and recycle this for next year, or maybe sell prints on Etsy. I'm not sure. It's in this. I was about to say in the discussion, but basically no, because I'm only discussing this with myself. And if you remember the bigger snowflakes, here they're accenting a few little things. Sib and Mitch being themselves. Here we have with my watermark, and yes, my name is Emilia Tökés. And technically it's pronounced Tökés, but I don't bother with that, so just Emilia. Or Emmy, or as you know me, Zemimsky. This one was specifically done for my K-pop idol. I call him my Gumiho, and since he's in the band called Shiny, it ended up being my Shiny Gumiho. Gumiho is a nine-tailed fox in the Korean mythology. Just a background, because I found it soothing and beautiful. I mean, why not? And here we have your classic English for the web. Just the Mitch alone that a few people have. Like my niece, Renee, and Princess Sprouts on YouTube. And one colleague at my office have the full package with the vertical to landscape and the solo Michi and Sib versions. And so in the beginning I wasn't sure if I prefer this thing vertical or letter format or horizontal landscape, so I did both. That's why some people have, well, most people have both versions, because I couldn't decide. And here we have the CB version and the CB without the frame, and just a frame in vertical mode. And like I said, just the props with the greetings, because it has its own charm, I think, you know. And the original with the silver frame, and then the Korean with the blue frame. And there are so many freaking versions that I'm gonna die eventually soon. And so this was my 2016 Christmas illustration walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed. See you around.